Hey, hope you're all having a good time. Can't really think of too much to say, so I'll just go ahead and get into it here. So, I'm doing one of these. I'm sure most people know what these are. And if you don't, then just imagine they're big, scary super soldier freaks. Yeah. Decided to do one of these because I felt like it. Yeah, do it at a low, sort of a lower poly style again, because, figured that'd be just some good practice, really. Not gonna be super detailed, not gonna do any particular chapter or legion or whatever, just gonna do one as a baseline, and then just kind of make it simple enough to where I could just turn it into whatever I felt like. Gotta turn on statistics as well so I can see how much has gone into these guys so far. These guys are really... they're very bulky, so I doubt they're gonna need much. But, you know, still one of these try, especially... Actually, might move this over so get this guy in frame here. Yeah, that's better. It shouldn't take much, but still. To make sure I get them right. Because I do think they look pretty neat. Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. Would have had a bolt around in the back of my head at this point if I didn't. But no, yeah, I haven't actually gotten into Warhammer itself that much. I've played some of the games and I'm at least familiar with the setting, somewhat, but I haven't actually. I don't know. I haven't really gotten into the main sort of meat and potatoes, the actual tabletop. Mainly because it's so friggin' expensive. Not just that, but you also have to paint them yourself, which isn't a terrible thing, but I've never done it, and it seems like you need a dedicated space to do it. So yeah, I haven't really been able to really try it. But that said, I still like them. I still like the setting. I think it's pretty interesting so far, even if I'm really more of a... I don't know. More of a secondary, I guess. Filthy secondary. If that's a word people still use. But yeah. I'm just making a... Honestly, this is more of a base than anything. So I can just take this and customize it down the road to be whatever I want. Also not going for... Also going more for a low poly aesthetic as per usual, because it's easier and I like the look, honestly. I'll go with 5. I'm gonna do the legs now. I'm gonna stop at the torso for right now and just come back to it later. Yeah, I hope your day's going well. Just gonna be sitting here, working on this. No, yeah, I'm not saying it isn't fun to try and paint minis. If maybe at some point I'd be actually try it, but I think it's just more I don't have the space for it. I don't have any really tools per se. I don't think you need an airbrush or anything to do. I don't think you need anything like an airbrush per se, but I don't really have any painting equipment. Or just... yeah. kind of why I'm doing this, actually. It's it's as close as I can get right now, and I just gotta make a base, and then I can just feel like making I don't know, someone from, I don't know, maybe the Lamenters or something. I've heard of the Lamenters. That's the thing too. I actually don't know. Well, I think I've said it like 5 times now that I don't really know much. But yeah, there's only so much I know about the actual factions or whatnot. I actually ended up getting Space Marine 2 recently, and I was debating whether to spend the extra money to get one of the season passes to go with it. But I only really know some of the chapters, not all of them. So I really wouldn't get a lot of use out of every single one, especially if I end up only really liking one, and the rest just kind of sit there. Like, what did I spend the extra $14 or $20 or so just to have these cosmetics sitting and doing nothing, you know? I ended up spending that money on Balatro instead, and that's worked out so far. But yeah, maybe once I get more properly into it, I might go back later, especially if it goes on really deep sale. Yeah, Balatro speak. Maybe if I don't feel like modeling one day, but I still want to stream, I might just stream myself playing Balatro, because it is pretty fun. I do like it. I haven't played too many card-based games lately, and that was the first in a while, and it's good. I quite enjoy it. Yeah, I'll just start with that for the thighs here. Trying to take a. I know Mega Man Legends does this, where they don't really have connecting parts per se. They have cubes that are just shoved into each other that look like they're connected, but really they're separate parts. I need to get used to doing that, because I haven't. There's always a little part in the back of my brain that goes, you gotta make sure they're all connected, otherwise it'll look weird. Even though the entire point of this aesthetic was, one, limitations of the hardware at the time, PS1, PS2, that sort of era. But also, it's not really that deep, per se. It's fine to just have disconnected parts, just that are just vaguely close. So, yeah, just gotta get more used to being okay with just having those parts floating there. Bump this up by 1 for the shins. I'm really glad, though, that every single one of these Astartes have this sort of front-facing picture in their codex, because it makes it a lot easier to follow along for this. And I can just adjust as I go. I do have to work at a bit of an angle, kind of, to make sure that everything goes well. But hey, it's no big deal. I say it myself as I don't know. There is a bit of a perfectionist streak in me that has to. I have to kind of wrestle down just to get anything done. Hmm. Actually, if I want to emulate the... Yeah, if I want to emulate the sort of sloped angle, I could maybe do this. I can just get it up at an angle like so. That's not perfect, but... Actually, no, here's what I'll do. I will just add, not a circle, but a cube. I will subdivide it by 1. Just make it a little round, but not too round. There we go. Then just chop it in half. Angle it so that it matches. Actually, come to think of it, if I want to be smart about this for later, because I do want to do texturing, I should really more worry about angling this upright. Yeah, I'll start over. I'll start over because now I know what I'm doing, somewhat. Just gonna move this forward a smidge. I'm just gonna angle this so that the leg is kind of straight up and down. I know it's got a bit of an angle to it right there, but I think it's better off if I just model it straight up and down like this and then just rotate it in place later. Also, real quick, I don't have anything like alerts set up, so I don't know if you followed or anything like that. But if you did, if you did, thank you. And if not, then I would highly consider it because I am thinking of getting back more to streaming more regularly. So yeah, that would be very nice. Global. It's down a bit. Couldn't really get any good pictures of them from the side. Actually, wait, I know. Here. I can't get a really. I never really found any good side pictures when I was looking for reference pictures, but it does need to be precise. I think I know what to grab. Smiley face. Yeah, sure, you'll do. Just real quick, grab an image. There we go. Sergeant What's-His-Face. There we go. That gives you a good enough angle of how they look. And they don't really seem to stick out all that much. And actually, I'm glad I got this too, because now I'm noticing here that it's not really all one big piece, per se. It's kind of segmented, which... I might be able to work that, actually. Hold on. I'll just kind of make the leg based on that, so... You go from 6 to 5 for the thighs. That's still pretty basic. I don't need to do anything special there. All good. Enjoy watching me fail at modeling. So, this... bring it up to about here-ish. About Yeah, I'll just dissolve these vertices here. Let's do another one of these. About there-ish should do. As for the foot, they're big, bulky things. I don't need to worry too much about those. Big old boots. Mm. There we go. Okay, so the foot actually isn't that thick. Never mind. It's more like there-ish.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
Get this big ol' thing in place here.
I could do this all day.
No, sir.
there it should do. And just get this little frill up here. That looks about right. There we go. There's the leg guard and the leg as a whole. Still think it's a little too big, actually. Just gonna make it a smidge bigger. See how it goes.
The things I can be open with. And that I feel comfortable being open with. Hurting a little bit, like emotionally.
Alright, back to this. This goes up here. It's fine if it's not entirely on. So these guys are standing with their legs a bit of an angle, whereas I'm modeling them just straight up and down. Yeah, having these at an angle isn't so bad. It's kind of realized now that the way these guys stand up, if they were to stand with the legs straight out like normally, like regular humans would, their leg arm would just absolutely just clank into itself, and it would be very awkward very quickly. So yeah, having it at an angle is fine. Having it at an angle like this is fine, actually.
Waiting in my grave, the one I love lies far away.
Alright, now I mirror these. Oh, actually, no, not quite. Gotta set the correct origin first. Now I mirror these. I think as long as I can straighten them out again and get the UV maps going, I should be fine. There we go.
Keep moving from this mountain. Move on to the promised land. Turn you and take your journey. And go to the
That looks about right.
Wonderful.
I'm a good lady.
And I did notice there was a bit of a collar part right here. So I'm just gonna get that in real quick. Not quite. There we go, that's better. Not quite. Goes back to about here as well. There we go. That's the chest pretty much done. Yeah, slim that down a bit too. Why not? Save some vertices. I think for the... I definitely want to do the shoulder pads, but for the arms themselves... No, yeah, I'll have like I'll do this. Another cube. That's not a cube. Subdivide it once. Smooth it. Do this neat little trick where I round it out a little more. Faces. And now I will take this and reshape it to match these here shoulder pads. Or at least get it as close as I can get. There we go. We now have a shoulder pad. Probably shouldn't be that far out, though. About there's good. One shoulder pad. 2 shoulder pads. Yay. I think for the arms, I'll just do cubes. Just see how that goes. Or no. The hands, I'll do cubes. But... there we go. Vaguely fist-shaped. But the arms will just be 2 more of these. I'll have these serve as sort of in between forearms right here. Hmm. There we go. Mirror this. Just triangulate that so that all the weird creases get knocked out. I wonder, actually, is it? Oh no, it comes down at an angle. No wonder it looks weird. There we go, that looks a bit better. Just double check the normals here, and yeah, yeah, I figured there was something up with them. Hmm. I'm wondering if I should make the proportions more chunky. Or at least, probably adjust them a little bit here. Yeah, it looks a bit better. There we go. Now they're more lined up. Yeah, ideally I'm going to try and keep the base under maybe 500 triangles? It looks like I'm pretty close. I just need to make the head. But then again, even the head could be swapped out, actually. So technically, this is the bare minimum of a base that I need. But I'll still make a head, because otherwise it'll just look weird without it. And for that, I'm going to have to pull out All Reliable. Cube. Subdivide here. Apply. I actually won't make it a bit more spherical. Just gonna start with the very basic total. I love how, I know some of the older designs had a much more overt, fucking Darth Vader inspired one, and in recent years they changed it to this. The other one's still around, but they just don't show it nearly as often. I just think it's kind of funny. So how does this helmet look? There's a faceplate that goes down. So I might have this at an angle. Start with that. And then to make the extra bits, just need to make a cube. What actually makes up these helmets? Faceplate here, they've got flaps here, and then they got a big vent up here. Also, I actually made this a bit too high, it should be down here. Let's see. This white one shows some more detail, actually. Yeah, nothing... There we go. I should just name all these real quick. arm plus leg. Actually, I wonder, does that fin extend to the back? I don't actually know if it does or not. Eh. Well, it's a fan-made one. I don't know for sure. But it seems like it kind of does. It goes... has a it does the Mega Man thing where it kind of goes all the way out of the bottom. So I'll just do that. Edges, make that flat. And then just move this out to where it doesn't really clip in all that much. There we are.
Oh well, the world stinks. Let's blow!
Well, I guess the actual body is the important part. That's under 500. So my original goal still is met, I guess, technically. Only thing left now is... I guess the backside where... I noticed an extra bit here where this sort of links up around the side to meet in the back, so I'm going to do that real quick. Yeah, that works. And actually, a little bonus. I can get rid of this face because there's no need for... It's completely hidden, so there's no need to see it. No need to have it there. Saves in some polygons, at least. Okay. So I think we have a very, very simple basis for... Actually, yeah. Triangulate that so that the shoulders actually look more round. But yeah, just a very, very basic, very simple, low poly Space Marine. And to make sure I can actually customize this thing, because I do want to at least do... I might at least do a couple variations at some point. And to go through and UV edit this now so that all the faces are paintable. Just start. Actually, first I'll start by just marking out the areas I want to be, I guess in this case, paintable. So this entire front chest area is going to be 1. Mark seam. Same with this back chest. Same with this back area. Mark that. This collar's going to end up being separate as well. No, yeah, that looks fine. But now to project everything from the view. Because I find for things that are more intentionally pixel arty or low poly like this, it's better to have the UV map set up like this to where the pixels show up exactly as they are, they're not stretched or anything. So just doing stuff like this would work just fine. For the most part. These two are fine, these can be left alone, but everything else, I just like to go through and make those adjustments. There we go. These shoulder pads. Project from view. Now I can just see the whole thing. Mark off the other points. I don't think I need to worry too much about the detail on the inside of the shoulder pads, as those will just be invisible, but hey, it's worth noting at least. Water. Now these are at an angle, so here's what I'll do. Make sure that they do not merge, no clipping. There we go, that's the leg guard. That's it, just the leg guards right there. I may separate these, though, in the UV map, that way I don't have to worry about them being right on top of each other. There we go. I can color them all individually. Come to think of it, one thing that might help a lot is actually... There is a trick that I learned a while back, where you grab a checkerboard texture sort of thing and use that as a temporary texture. And that way you can see how much the actual materials stretch on your model and see if that's going to be a problem or not. So if I can find that again, here it is. I believe this one's by Valley 2K, if I got the name right on the file name. But yeah, I'm just going to use this to help gauge how the thing looks. Yeah, if you look, it does get stretched a bit around the sides, but honestly, I think I can live with that. And then I can just sort of line them up here. Pixels. There we go. Yeah, same thing with the chest plate as well, just to make sure that that's looking good. I should probably separate these into parts so that way they're easier to UV map. You know, I brought up earlier that I didn't really know, wasn't super deep into Warhammer, 40k at least. But I have listened to a lot of Adeptus Ridiculous, so I know a little bit about the more general lore and some of the chapters within the human side of things. So there's... So it's not like I'm completely clueless going into this, it's just more I haven't got into the actual nitty-gritty of, I guess, the books or anything deeper than just the occasional game or two. That said, I actually wouldn't mind trying out the game itself at some point. Like, it's... I'm not really sure what it is, but I think I do a lot better with a war game as opposed to something like... I mean, I've tried tabletop stuff before. I've tried D&D a little bit. That's alright. I still just haven't still need some getting used to with that, admittedly, but it's not terrible. But I think just having a war game like Warhammer would actually be kind of fun. I don't have anybody that I can actually try it with, or any means to actually try it out. See if I actually like it, and not just say, "Oh, this looks cool," and then find out, "Oh, I'm actually not that into it." But I think a decent attempt could be made, at least, to try it out at some point. But for now, I'm just gonna do this.
Let's make some noise.
I think with these, where it's not... I think these I kind of have to just do the regular... Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Let's make some noise.
Someone's gonna pop in here and go, what kind of fucking Space Marine chapter are you making? The checkerboard, the checkerboard one, that's the one. That's what this is now. So it's the forgot to install CSS one. I don't know. There we go, that's good. There we go. Seems fine. Just rotate those back into place. Same with these. Actually, I don't even think we need these references now. Just put those aside. And... I guess now the only thing left to texture is this helmet. Or UV map, I should say. And this isn't the final UV map either. I'll probably work on this again. I'll work more on this on my next stream. I don't think I'm going to get this all done in one. But I want to at least set up a foundation. So where I could go in, maybe do a little bit of digital painting, I guess. I don't know. Texturing. That's the gist of it. That's the sort of earpiece things. I say earpiece, just besides the helmet. This one's probably easier. Because of this, all I need to do is just select all these. Okay, never mind, we do need this bottom one. Because that, well, actually no. Because that is filled up by the thing, so you know what? Yeah, that's fine. Leave that alone. No one will ever know. There we go. Move that up there. Actually, down here. Go. Hello, Sharp. I see you there. With the Ricky gif. I see that one. Ricky throwback. Silly. Just doing some UV mapping right now. Trying to make sure that everything kind of sort of fits in the one thing. Well, just as I go. It's not done yet.
Not even supposed to be here today.
Half man, half animal.
Uh-oh, did I mess up a thing? I think I messed up a thing. Move these aside. Yeah, hope you're doing well, hun. Just working on this. Okay. Last thing I'll do, I'm going to take all these parts and see if I can't fit them all into the same UV map. Make my life easier down the road. Go. Now I gotta find a way to make all these fit.
made this.
I just need to fit these in, and I should be good. Just fill out the rest. Yeah, I have all this space down here. I'm not even using it right. It's here. Stick those. Square it away to make more space.
Isn't permanent. It's for right now. It isn't permanent. It's for
And there's still some room to fit in some more stuff later, which is good. But yeah, I now have the early makings of just a basic low poly Space Marine. Not a whole lot going on just yet, but that'll probably change in the coming days. Because I want to at least make one. One good one, just to practice texturing, and then maybe I'll make a few more afterwards. Maybe I'll make some accessories, I don't know. We'll see. But for now, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Just wanted to do just a shorter thing, just to get this started, and maybe I'll do more on Wednesday. But yeah. Hope you all had a good time watching me make this, and hope you have a good rest of your day. I will see you all later. Bye.